Hi, welcome to Rocky Mountain Views. I'm your host, Martha Thompson, and today I'm sitting here with Bob Kittridge, and Bob is from the Kittridge Connection. Bob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Well, we're excited to have you here. And for those who are not aware, what is the Kittridge Connection?
We are a personal growth and leadership development company.
Okay. And that means what? Because that could mean a lot of things.
Could mean a lot of things.
There are so many people who are saying that they're going to help you figure stuff out, and except you really do it.
We work with people to really try to get them to reach their full potential, whether that be individuals or companies. We do that through personal coaching, through some programs. So that's how we grow people personally, and we develop leadership through that.
And you help them find their passion. And I know one of the things that we had discussed was that that seems to be a massive stumbling block for so many people. I want to know what my passion is. And, having watched, I've been in, a long time watcher of Oprah, it's that's where everybody gets stuck. Well, I don't know what my passion is. How do you help them figure out what that is in the first place?
Yeah, John Maxwell's got a great quote. He says there's two great times in your life. Once when you're born and once when you figure out why. And finding that purpose, finding that passion is your why.
Okay.
We go through life, a lot of people go through life just existing. And they don't know any better. There's no awareness of what that passion or that purpose is. Sometimes we had it, maybe we had it as a child, we had it as an idea, we wanted to do something, and by no fault of our parents or anybody like that, they probably guided us towards what they thought was best for us. Maybe an education or a career path. One of the best movies for me that show that is with Robin Williams, and where the child goes and his dad is trying to get him to be a lawyer. And he doesn't want to be a lawyer. He wants to be an actor.
Right, carpe diem.
Carpe diem. And, in the end, that poor kid ends up committing suicide because not living his passion was worse than death. And for some of us, a lot of people have died already. They just haven't been buried yet, right? Because they haven't been living their passion. They just tend to exist. So we do that through coaching, personal coaching. We do that through a couple different programs we have, empowerment mentoring program. We do that through group coaching. We do that through teaching, mastermind groups. We've got quite a few different ways because everybody is different and unique. Not one way will work. What works for you may not work for somebody else. So we have lots of different ways we do that.
And you even have some assessment testing to help people figure out what that might be, at least to start that process, start them thinking in that direction, yes?
We do. We became certified with a company called TTI Success Insights, and it's DISC is the basis of it, is the DISC test, but it's more than that. It also has motivators. So it gives us the behaviors, how we communicate, the way we like to be communicated with, but it also gives us our motivators. So it's the behavior, but it's also the why. Are you driven by money? Are you driven by aesthetics? Are you driven by social concerns? This is where we work with a lot of people that aren't happy in their jobs. A lot of times we're finding is they're not matching up to what their motivators are. So somebody in direct sales or in commission sales has got to have a pretty high motivator of money. Mm-hmm. If they don't, they're not going to have that drive to go do what's needed. So we work with people in their passion to try to find that and match them with their assessments.
And I think there are a lot of people that don't even know what that feels like, especially if you are in midlife. My degree is in psychology. I had a choice to go on to graduate school or not, and financially that was not an option for me, so I stopped doing that. I did utilize my degree in some positions, but by and large, I haven't. Yet it supports everything that I do. There's nothing that's been lost in it, but had I stayed on that path, I wouldn't have been miserable. But I wasn't excited about getting up every day. if someone had told me that what would light me up was having a show, and in a few days having a radio show that I'm going to be doing, I'd have thought they were crazy. But, I had to get past that leap of, what if I fail? That's a big concern for people. What if I fall flat on my face? Well, what if I did?
What if you do?
Okay. Then you keep trying. But to even figure out, how do you know if someone is doing what they're passionate about, they're just apathetic about it? How do you help them determine that?
That's why my passion is personal coaching. I really enjoy sitting down with somebody and working through where they're at, figuring out where they're at right now, figuring out their vision and where they want to go. Somewhere in there, discovering their purpose. And I think purpose and passion are two different things. Purpose is that what were we designed? We're all designed to do something. Mm-hmm. See, your radio show and what you're doing with this show is still in line with your purpose, knowing you the way I do, of helping others grow. Mm-hmm. This TV show, the things you're doing with it is helping others grow. See, that's a purpose. And a lot of people don't understand what their purpose in life is. Once we find that, it's amazing what happens then and how our life becomes more fulfilled. Opportunities come that we may have not looked at before. So finding that purpose, and we do that through personal coaching, through figuring out what lights you up, figuring out what makes you smile, figuring out what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what a series of just questions of having you come up with the answer. And this is, I think, one of the fallacies is a lot of times in career counseling or coaching or those kind of things is, well, I think you ought to.
Yes, I heard that a lot.
Yeah, well, I think you ought to do this. That's somebody else's opinion of what they think we should do. And a lot of times we may not feel that, but we follow it because they're the expert. They should know, so we should follow them. Instead of maybe sitting back and really discovering, what is it I feel I should do? And that's where that purpose and passion starts to come out.
So I can see where that would be extremely effective with one-on-one coaching. Now, you also work with companies.
I do.
So if you've got a group of people, how does that work so that they learn to work together? Because I know we had also talked about just the group dynamics of competition within a company. Mm-hmm. And there's tremendous fear around lack. And you know what? If I see you are so good at something and I want you to know that and I want you to excel, but I don't want to tell you because then you're going to outshine me and I'm going to get laid off.
Yeah.
How do you get past that one?
Well, two things there. We do group coaching, which a lot of times is not a whole different from the individual coaching. Because I may be in a room with a group of people asking you questions and you're addressing some issues for you. Believe it or not, Joe over there is also thinking those same things. He's working through the same process as I'm asking you questions. So in a way, he's also increasing his awareness. He may not be expressing it like you and I are doing, but in the group setting, we actually learn from each other. And it's amazing when somebody shares, the other person will go, wow, I thought I was the only one that had that issue. And we all work together as a group then to raise that. Second thing, like you said, is that scarcity versus abundance mentality.
Yes, which is huge and powerful.
Huge and disempowering. Because once I start that scarcity mindset of not sharing my knowledge or helping you become better, that actually stops the flow of that energy of greatness, of success from coming into the group. So yeah, maybe I don't share and that makes me shine, but eventually I'm going to hit that lid that somewhere I need your strengths. And that's one of the things we do with companies is we work to define the strengths and weaknesses within the individuals, within the company.
Okay.
And then one of the fallacies I see is we hear a lot about how you need to get better at this. So whatever your weakness is, we need to try to improve it. Mm-hmm. I think you can be no more than mediocre in your weakness, but you can be excellent in your strength. See, if we define what everybody's strengths and weaknesses is, I know I'm weak in this, but you're strong, we can then team up. See, I can offset and manage my weakness with your strength. And guess what? I can manage your weakness with my strength. Thus, we become a team and we work together more efficiently.
And we can all succeed.
And then we all succeed, and it moves the company forward.
So you see that mentality diminish once the group starts to work
See that
together.
mentality diminish. It's an amazing concept, and it's really interesting to watch a small business. A lot of small businesses spend a lot of their time on business plans or marketing plans or PR campaigns or product development, and all those things are good. You got to have those. But we forget about the people and the development of the people within the company. Thus, we hit that lid again, and we can't ever get above a certain level because it takes that energy of the team. It takes that team synergy to move that forward.
It's also exhausting to be trying to excel at the things that you know are not within what you would want to call your skill set.
You have to spend time on it.
And it's like working with details for me. I am not a detail person. I need a
I
secretary.
knew there was you and I, the reason you and I got along well.
I just, that's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can take a big idea and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the details, I need someone who is very detail oriented to follow up. I need that person desperately. And typically those people are not the big picture people either. We work synergistically so well.
And that's one of the things we did a lot of research with assessment systems. And why we picked the one we did is one of the products we actually do for a team or a group is we put everybody in that team or group on a wheel. So we can visually look at this team and say, wow, you got everybody that's an analyzer. Or you've got everybody that's a... See, to make that wheel go round, just like the wheel in your car, it's got to be round. And what we find is most people hire people like us versus the different things that the company is needing. So if we're hiring just everybody like us, big thinkers, we're going to have lots of great ideas. We're just not going to have anything that goes anywhere because we missed... And this was a huge thing for Nancy and I when we took the test, is we looked at it first and thought, we're so opposite of each other. And the person that was doing our assessment and debrief said, that's awesome, because I'm the big thinker, I'm the idea person, but I'm like squirrel, next one, and
exactly.
What's nice now is I can come up with the idea, I can kind of hammer out what it looks like and like that, but then I'll give it to her to do the details, because that's where I fall on my face. Most companies, a lot of companies don't have that. We've got to figure out who's strong in what. And then how do I give those people that strength? How do I give those people that project? We did an assessment with the university, the UCCS Chancellor's Leadership Program.
Really?
One of their outcomes on that was to figure out how do they get more involved in community projects and like that. They got a lot of big thinkers, not many doers. They don't have many, they've got a lot of great leaders. But when we put their people on a wheel, it was pretty lopsided. So now how do they as a community group figure out how to take all those big ideas and move forward with it? Companies are no different. What we're seeing is people get hired for skills, knowledge, and abilities. Resume looks good. The degree looks great. But we tend to fire them for attitude because they know what to do. They just don't know how to communicate it. They don't know how to work in that society or that culture. And that's what we do with this testing and assessment process, along with the other products, is how do we bring a culture together of teamwork, of synergetic, of abundance to be able to move forward. Then you can plug the marketing and the sales and the, all that other stuff into it to move forward.
Now, when you're talking about this, I think that it feels far less risky for, say, someone who is either in college or just getting out of college. Okay, I'm going to find my passion and then I'm going to pursue it. Now let's talk about someone who's in middle age and they're not miserable, by no means miserable.
Nope.
But they're waiting for Friday and they're not too excited about Monday and they're not energized about showing up at work.
Mm-hmm.
So they know they're not following their passion,
Mm-hmm.
but they've got 3 kids, they've got 2 of them in college, they've got a family to support. How do they, I almost want to say justify, although you shouldn't have to justify following your passion, but I think you know what I'm
I
asking.
do.
You know, how do they
I've
realistically...
got so much invested right now.
Yes. How do I explain to my spouse that this just isn't lighting me up? I need to go do something different. How do they make that shift? What do they do?
Okay. First step is let's get the assessment. We got to figure out where that is. The nice part about this assessment, it shows your natural style and it shows your adaptive style. What we try to do is find places where you to work in your natural style, who you are naturally. Because the more we have to adjust, I go to work and I know that, oh God, I'm going to have to deal with details. I can do that. I can adjust that. But my stress level then thus goes up.
You bet.
So I'm not fulfilled.
Right.
I'm not, I'll do it, but I'm not giving the full 100%. I may give 60% just to get the job done.
Right.
So when we work with companies is figuring out maybe we've got the right people. They're just not in the right seats. They're just,
Okay.
Right bus, wrong seat. So how do we look at those folks either to work with their environment, their job, what they do, duties, who's managing them sometimes, some of the leadership in the company. I mean, we look at a whole scale process in a company to figure that out. The other side about it is working one-on-one. We can do that same thing for you, and you can go to your company then and learn how to operate in that environment. Because once you know yourself, you can then figure out how to work within the environment. A lot of people don't know themselves. They don't know.
No,
They don't
it's a
know.
mystery.
Exactly. It's subconscious psychology.
Yes.
Comes out of your subconscious. Maxwell Maltz did a great book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and he said we will never outperform our own self-image. See, if we have that self-image, we'll never go beyond it, and we don't even know what it is. Our behavior sometimes and our motivators are the same way. We know we don't feel right. God, I'm just not. I'm so tired. All of those physical feelings we have.
Yes.
Is that energy being expended in areas that isn't productive. I have to fight to do the detail. I'm going to do it. But it sucks up 25 or 35 or 40% of my energy
Where it should be 10.
where it should be maybe 10 or
Yes.
none, right?
Yes.
I don't have to worry about details because I'm a big thinker. Look at Steve Jobs. He didn't do details. He got down to the part where he didn't have to figure out what clothes to wear, right?
Right.
He went black. He took that part out of his decision because that part of his day became such a challenge. What was the right thing to wear today? What was it? Let's solve it. I'll wear black. So his energy could be expended in the areas where it did the most good. Ideas.
Okay, so that will work if someone is able to manage that within the structure of where they're working now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that's not even possible. So now I want to talk about the F word and the F word in business, which is failure. How do you look at that word? Because that is the F word in business.
Oh, yeah.
How do you get around that? How do you look at that? How do you overcome that?
Well, I think it's two ways. One, is it what you do or who you are? See, a lot of times we can fail at what we do. So we had an event this year, pretty good size event. We did, again, big ideas. I had all this stuff. I didn't include the detail person in it. And what came back to bite us, what our failing points was the details. So that was a prime example of how, for me, I needed to have details into the big idea.
Okay.
But see, I didn't fail at that.
Right.
The event was a quote failure. Now, was it totally? No, we just lost a bunch of money. And so failure is all how you look at it more than anything else.
It's perspective.
It's perspective, exactly. But it bugs me so much to hear people say, oh, I'm a failure. See, you're not. If you believe, and I do, that we're whole and complete, perfect in every way, we aren't a failure. What we may do may not work. What we may do may fail. But it's not who we are. But unfortunately, a lot of people take that on as who they are. Thus, they won't try something else. Well, because I failed the last time. So why try it again?
And that's such And it is wrong thinking, because I know that everything that I've done in my life thus far up to this point has made me better at this. Even though this is relatively new for me,
Mm-hmm.
I have so much to draw on from my past experience that I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So, that's the other way to look at it,
Yeah.
is you take that with you. And even if I'm not using those particular skill sets, there's still a wealth of experience that we bring with us
Right.
to our newfound passion.
And it's the way we learn. It's truly the human being. The only way we truly learn is to fail at something. Think about when you rode a bike. How did you learn how to ride a bike?
Falling down, wobbling, crying.
Yeah, crash, burn, and all the stuff that goes with it, right?
Yes.
So if somebody would have said, see, you didn't learn how to ride a bike, you were learning balance, the concept or the principle of balance. They could have wrote that out on the board, they could have done different things. But the only way you would have learned it was to get on and start pedaling. Maybe somebody pushed you. Maybe somebody rode behind you for a while and held the seat till you got it and then let go. Falling down gave you an experience.
Yes.
Then what did you do? I got back on. Now, see, as a kid, we wanted to ride that bike. See, our why was so big. Why? Because the rest of the kids in the neighborhood were riding. I know when I learned how to ride mine, I got to ride to Dairy Queen when I learned how to ride. That was my big why, right?
That was the goal.
That was the goal. And all the other kids could do it. So my why. And this comes back to what you're saying about purpose and stuff. Sometimes we fail because our why isn't big enough. See that?
Oh, say that
why,
again.
Well, sometimes we fail and quit trying because our why isn't big enough. See, we don't have a defined why in life large enough to keep us pushing past that terror barrier of failure.
Okay. That's good stuff. I like that.
Yeah. See, public speaking is a huge example of that.
It's the number one fear.
Above death, right?
Yes.
People are more afraid of public speaking than they are to die.
Yes.
But yet, I talk to so many people that have such a voice. They have such a story. They have such a passion for helping others. What's the number one way to do it? Public speaking.
Yes.
But yet, they won't do it because that why yet isn't big. It's how do we, and that's what we do when we work personal coaching, is really define the why. See, when we work with personal coaching, and this goes back to your psychology days, the subconscious knows no difference between the past and the future. Knows no
Yeah.
difference. Knows no difference. But yet, the only reason we can recall the past is because we've been there. So in personal coaching, one of the things we do is have you design your future and then live from it. Not into it, from it. Anytime we live into it, it's I want to be. So we're always trying. Versus when we get you to really visualize that future, what it looks like and feels like and sounds like, just like the past did.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell me when you fell off the bike and skinned your knee, and like it was probably yesterday, right? Once we get you to define this, see, we can have you live from that in the same way.
It's true.
In this, yeah. So one of the things you talked about is how do I be who I want to be at every moment, right? When you get encountered the traffic lights or the grocery store that stopped up or the rainstorm or whatever it is, see, we have a choice. Most of the time it's the subconscious that runs the choice and we have no idea what it is. It just runs us.
Mm-hmm.
Versus once we have that awareness of who we want to be, not do, who we want to be, then the doing becomes easy. And we push past failure. We push past failure.
Well, the subconscious doesn't even know the difference between what's real and what's not.
Nope. Has no clue.
So if you reprogram what it is that you're actually thinking of as what you want down to that level, it's as if that is what you've experienced. So it doesn't become the big leap to make the choice. Good stuff.
That's why, for us, one of the big changes we made is we don't really watch the news. I don't listen to CNN, NBC, or CNBC, or any of those. Do I still need to know what's going on in the world? Absolutely.
Right.
And I have my ways to do that. But if you look at most of the media today, it's sensationalism. I travel a lot. Something will happen here in Colorado, and a week later I'll be in Chicago and hear that story. It's a different story.
Right.
Although I was there. It's everybody's twist. See, and that's what we listen to, and once we accept that into our conscious mind, it makes that path to our subconscious, which cannot make a decision. See, the subconscious can't decide what it's accepting and what it's not.
No, it just
We
drives.
have to do that. So if we define that future and what we want it to be, whether it's a company, whether it's a team, whether it's an individual, whether it's a family, and we live from that in the conscious, it
Correct.
goes into the subconscious. Thus, it gets us thinking the right way, and it produces the results we want. And it gets us to push past failure, because our why becomes bigger than our failure,
Then the fear of failure.
than the fear of failure.
Now you have an offer that you make to come out and talk to people that I find mind-blowing. Talk to me about what you will do for people so that they can have an idea of the miracle that they might experience.
Okay? Well, we are so passionate about what we're doing. I mean, I kind of like you, 10 years ago, I never would have thought I'd been coaching people and speaking nationally and internationally about personal growth. So we really have a lot of different options we can offer companies. But we got to find out what that is that they need. So we come in and bring what's called a lunch and learn. We can do it over lunch. We can do it as a breakfast. We can do it in but it's a 45 to 50 minute, very focused talk on one of the principles, maybe the 21 laws, maybe the 15 laws of growth, maybe put your dreams to the test, maybe John's new book, which is going to be great, coming out here in October, which is Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn.
And that's
all
John
about
Maxwell.
John Maxwell, all about failures. And that's at no charge. So we'll come out and we do that. We do that at no charge.
No charge.
No charge.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got that, and I did bring out, was fortunate enough to receive this today, which is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. One of the ways that I have started my day for some time is a minute with Maxwell every day, which is such a fabulous way to just get myself headed in the right direction, right thought. You also have that on your site, which is?
We do. It's www.kittridgeconnection.com.
Okay.
And we do a daily key to success. So it's how we start our day has what our day goes. If we wake up and listen to the media and news, our day may go that way. We like to have a great daily positive, whether it's an affirmation, whether it's a picture, whether it's a saying, like John's word, really has us start the day thinking a different way.
I love this. And as those of you know who watch our show with any kind of regularity, I've never said this before, but I happen to know the Kittridges. I know what they have to offer. If you want your world to get great, if you want to find your passion, if you want your company to grow, I urge you to contact them. We're going to have all of their information up on the screen. I can't recommend them highly enough. You will not be disappointed. Their integrity is bar none. And again, I'm honored to have you here and be with us today.
Honored to be here. Thank you very much.
It's been our pleasure. Until next time, have a great day.